Welcome to 734Games, and today we're here to ask a question. Is the game industry a bastion of social justice or white supremacy? You see, it's interesting because social justice has been a real trend within the gaming industry. I mean, you had Phil Spencer go to the Game Developers Conference this year and talk about sexual harassment. Of course, it was supposed to be a tech conference where he was talking to people from other countries throughout the world who probably have different rules and different morals and standards than we do, so it's kind of silly to do that. But social justice has been at the forefront when you hear game developers speak. And you definitely hear a lot about game developers, how they need to stop being as homophobic and transphobic. But when you look at the breakdown of the games industry, are women and gays and transsexuals the people who are discriminated against the most? Well, according to the statistics, that is not the case at all. Only 1% of the people in the game industry identify as black or African American. 4% identified as Hispanic or Latino. And those are, so if you have people of color, that's 5%. Now, female, you have 23%. And transgender, you have 5%. And homosexual, you have 19%. So that's 24% for gays and LGBT, and 5% for people of color. So what's going on here? Are these companies really, I mean, it's funny how we see these companies pushing social justice like they're so, like they're so open, but you look at their numbers, and what it tells me is that social justice seems like it's more of a cover for not having any diversity. I mean, I could be wrong. It's really up to you to decide. And I play a lot of games. I enjoy video games. I'm probably not going to stop playing video games. But what's wrong here? Why are the number of, blacks and Hispanics so low in the games industry? Well, the other groups that we hear so much about, women, we hear so much about feminism and gender issues and homosexuality. Approximately 4% of the population in the United States is LGBT. So with such a big diversity problem in the games industry, why do the social justice warriors in the games industry focus so heavily on gender issues and issues of sexuality? Why? I mean, 24% of that industry is homosexual or transgender, but they make up 4% of the population, while blacks and Hispanics make up probably 25% of the population in the United States, and they make up 4% of the games industry. Now, how does that work? And it amazes me that you see all this hullabaloo about social justice, but you don't see any real change. And it seems that I don't know what's going on with the games industry. Well, I mean, this is not something new. This has actually been going on for a long time. And it's very likely that this was something that came from the tech industry. See, the games industry was born out of the American tech industry. And it's not always been, that is not an industry that's very inclusive in this country. But what's really amazing about that is the tech industry, even if you compare the numbers in the tech industry where 10% of the tech industry are African Americans, the game industry still lags far behind the tech industry. Why is that? Why are 7%, 7.6% of computer programmers in the tech industry African Americans, but 1%? So in the tech industry, blacks outnumber Hispanics, but it's funny, in the games industry, they're not even close. I am going to leave the links for my sources in the description, but I have to ask. It seems that the games industry has a problem, and from the sound of their rhetoric, it doesn't seem like they're trying to change whatsoever. And something is wrong, and I think that obviously, blacks and Hispanics in America, if they want to get have any real kind of representation, they'll probably have to have their own video game companies or make indie games. and that seems to be what's going on here. Now, when you look at companies, when you look at Google, Google actually has 2% African American. That's pretty good for. I mean, I guess they're not really a video game company. They're actually a tech company, so they're probably low. And they're 20% women. I could not find their LGBTQ stats, but I'm pretty sure they're probably really way better than what African Americans and Hispanics are getting. And they don't have any Hispanic numbers either, so they probably have like 0.001 Hispanic, and that's just the way it is. So how can gays be an oppressed minority when they seem to be doing pretty well? They do actually do better than the percentage of the population that they make up. They're well overrepresented in these high-paying jobs. Of course, Google does like to hire, and of course the game companies and Google like to hire white males or Asian males, and that's pretty much, I mean, Google is 69% white male, and probably most of the game companies are the same way. Let me see, let me go back and look at that. I'm pretty sure it was something like that. Yeah, it was, let's see, yeah, 61% are white and Caucasian, while 74% are male. So that's pretty much what's going on with the games industry. So we hear a lot about social justice and not being transphobic and not being xenophobic. And it's funny that they talk about, bringing, immigrants and letting these people come in the country, but when they come in the country, they don't really want to give them jobs. They don't really want to compete with them. They don't want to give them a path to citizenship. So they say bring them into the country so they can, mow lawns and stuff. And in the people who are already here, the ethnic minorities who are already here, they don't want to do anything for them either. So I think there's real hypocrisy in the games industry, and I just wanted to talk about that and get that off my chest. This is your host, Tom. If you like this video, you're on WordPress, you can click the star. If you're on YouTube, you can hit the thumbs up, or you can hit the bell or subscribe or whatever. And if you don't like it, well, come get me or whatever. I don't know. I know some people are going to be mad at me. The social justice warriors are probably going to be unhappy, but those people are hypocrites, and they have not done anything for diversity, and they're just full of crap. And that's just the way it is. And that's it for this episode. Goodbye.